will position yourself where you think you are. So the middle is neutral, and this will be disagree, and then strongly disagree, and then for the other side, agree, and strongly agree. So
Hey.
two people, and then Seth and Ivy, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So you guys, one of you pick one, and one of you pick two, and we'll do group one first for the first question. If you're in group two, just stand up to the side. So our first question is, I am proud to be an American.
I feel like this country isn't ours, it's not our land, and everything that makes this country run the way it is violent, and violent towards people who are helpless. So I just can't say that I'm proud to be American.
So I can't say that I'm proud to be an American, but I also can't say that I'm ashamed of the country because of the potential that I see in our current generation that we've got rising up amongst us.
I feel like I'm curious to see what you
Yeah,
said.
I guess I should talk. Obviously, I feel a lot for the current time, and it's really just heartbreaking. And I guess I took the perspective of not necessarily present day, but I tried to just incorporate why America has been good for many people and the system of government that we've been able to sustain for hundreds of years. So I just guess I support our core values and the Constitution and that stuff. So that's mine.
I believe the average American is racist. It's a tough one. I don't know what to say. This could be the average American over time. This could be the average American now. Dang, that's like.
Yeah.
To get you to think. All right, Emily, Ben, you gotta go somewhere, and you can move. You can go somewhere. You can move to a different spot.
I'd say the average American is racist. Mainly because although I'm not gonna, some people may show like racist like actions like white supremacists and stuff. But then I feel like in our country today, especially like I don't know, as like a white person myself, I've realized that I've grown up like with these racial stereotypes that I feel like our country has implemented in like our learning and stuff without even realizing it. And so I feel like in a way you can be racist without even knowing it or realizing it. And just thinking, because sometimes you can make a stereotype about someone without even realizing it that you actually made that stereotype or that thought. And I feel like that happens to a lot of Americans today without even the realization that they have like those racial thoughts or those ideals or whatever. So I would say the average American is racist.
I'm neutral. You know,
there's an immense amount of sin in people, and that is just a fact, and it's a fact, and everyone needs a savior, and I think that we all start off in sin. But then, as we all know, even if when we become Christians, like, we don't stop sinning per se. So I think that kind of along the lines of what Seth was saying originally, just dealing with stereotypes and predispositions in your mind, I think that those are true, and people have those, and you can have those just very like innocent thoughts, but like that's still not a good thing to think or to judge someone off of. So it's a yes and no.
Yeah, one of the people who switched. Why did you switch?
I really had to think about it. And I think there have been plenty of times.
Okay, on to
I think there have been plenty of times in my life where I've experienced racism, and sometimes it's even from my own race, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And it happens everywhere, and sometimes it just goes back to people thinking that they're better than you, and they just want to get at your nerves. The first time like I experienced some sort of racism like that was from another black kid in elementary school. That's a story for another time. But it really just made me upset. But it also made me realize anyone can show signs of racism, whether that comes from how they were raised, who they surround themselves with. I think we just all need to just remember how that makes other people feel. So yeah.
You really just started with this question.
Yeah.
Like, because I want to believe that there is good in people and that not all people are that way. And I kind of, in a sense, put that hope. Like that's why I'm kind of on the fence, because I want to keep the hope that people are still better than that people aren't all like quote unquote the average American just doesn't think that way. I mean, yes, everybody does have prejudices, everybody does have stereotypes that they see different people as, whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian. Like, everybody has a stereotype towards other people, a prejudice. They have some view on them, whether they learned it from the media, their parents, a book that they read, or interacting with them, maybe good, maybe bad. And all of these different things play a part, and specifically in America, when you have a history that goes back to, at least for black people, to not even seeing them as human beings, treating them as property. They're you want, at least for me, I want to hope that people have kind of grown. It's been what the United States was discovered in 1600s, right? Not bad at history, don't quote me on that. Revolutionary War was in 1776.
There you go.
Thank
You
you.
got
What is that? Like,
Also,
He's watching.
it's been like 300 years. Yeah, 3, 4. Thank you.
Yeah.
400 years. I'm kind of hoping that as bad as people are, that isn't the average, and that what we're seeing isn't, then maybe I'm just a little too naive. Kind of keep holding on to this hope, even though I kind of actually want to move over there. Can't quite get myself to.
I feel like people don't realize how deep racism goes.
Mhm.
It's just
It
it's
goes all the way back
it
to our
goes so
It goes to the beginning
deep.
of our country,
yeah,
actually.
literally the
To
foundation of
the
everything.
Declaration of Independence, which is crazy.
Even yeah, and it's
that's-
like
yeah.
I feel like people don't realize even well-meaning
Actually,
white
I
people.
should-
Hey now.
Come on.
Even well-meaning white people just like have these microaggressions that they don't even realize are racist and can be harmful.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's so just deep-rooted and like people just don't realize how far its reach is. And it's not always a hate crime written on a t-shirt. It's not always lynching. It's not always police brutality. It starts at home. It starts with your friends. Like it's literally engraved into everything. So yeah.
This is really heavily dependent on, I guess, how I view racism, because I think more towards the traditional way that MLK did of racism being the disparate treatment of people based off of their race, rather than what it's kind of drifted towards in modern times of disparate outcome based off of race. And like I personally I ascribe more to the idea of racism being disparate treatment of people based on race versus kind of what's drifted towards in modern times, like disparate outcomes.
What's that mean?
Like people like there's a little bit more of a modern movement of racism is evident in the fact that people of different races have different outcomes in terms of income and job placement and different levels of education. And while I would say those do have roots in racism in the past, I don't think the presence of like separate points now means that is like us being racist now, if that makes sense. Not that it couldn't be racist.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So this is also based off of how you define racism.
Yeah.
So if Nathan is defining it as that, then that's why he's standing there.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that like the hard part is like I'm close to kind of to joining in the middle. But I think based off of how I perceive racism, maybe it's still partially hope in my heart that people don't wish to don't treat others worse and don't treat others more poorly based off of their race. I think and the hard part is gosh dang it. The hard part is the average American
I'll stop you there. Does
Yeah.
anyone want to move?
I do. Honestly.
I think I'm just
It's okay.
I think
That's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much to this question.
Yeah. That's,
It's
all right.
a loaded question.
Yeah. So that's a loaded question.
Scott?